if you're new here, my name is Lilian Shiro. I trained back in Kenya as a nurse and I apparently work in the UK as a registered nurse. Guys, in today's video or in this live, I have a special guest by the name Gloria. She lives in Scotland and she's also a registered nurse, but I'll give her a moment to introduce herself. So Gloria, if you could introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Lillian, for having me on your channel. Hello, Lillian's subscribers and followers. My name is Gloria. I'm a registered nurse based living in Scotland, like Scotland. Thank you for having me.
Wow, thank you so much, Gloria, for being here. Yeah, so many people do not know the difference between the states in the UK. We do have 4 states. That is the England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. So that's why I have a special guest here, because the questions that usually come in, it's which is the best place to live in the UK? And then I thought it's good if I could bring Glory here, because she knows so much about Scotland. She lives there and maybe she could tell us about the cost of living. So we're gonna do the comparison so that you would make a sound, decision to know, should I live in Scotland or in Northern Ireland? Because it's believed Northern Ireland is the cheapest, but we're gonna find out with this beautiful soul, Gloria. So Gloria, if you don't mind, maybe you can just tell us what kind of a nurse you are. Do you have a family? So that when we are going through this cost of living, we'll have to touch bits here and there. You can inform our guests, our viewers, like what kind of a nurse are you? Do you have a family? And what have you?
Yes, that's not a problem. So I am a registered nurse. I was working in a care home for a few years before I recently moved to the NHS, and I'm a renal nurse or dialysis nurse. I have 3 children, 3 young children, so my cost of living is going to be a little bit affected by, how many dependents I have. It's going to be a bit different, but just to give you a rough estimate of, and I'm sure we're going to decide if I'll be able to win you over to come to Scotland or to go to Northern Ireland. Let's see who will win.
Yeah, we'll see who's gonna win which one, because I know Scotland is very, very beautiful. When we were in school, we used to read about Scotland, the kings, the queens, and the palace. So we knew Scotland, from way back in school, and we did know more about Northern Ireland and Wales. We came to know them when we came here. So Gloria, probably we can start off by telling us about the house rent. What's the range when you want a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom? What you'd advise someone to rent, depending with the family and stuff like that. Maybe you can guide us on that.
Yes, for rent, I'm going to just say, I don't know if Northern Ireland will win it, because I know that rent is more cheap in Northern Ireland. Because personally speaking, my current house where I stay is a 3-bedroom house.
Wow.
It's not close to the outskirts, it's not in the city center. The more you are to the city center, the more you are to Edinburgh, that is how much you're going to have to pay. But I am far away from Edinburgh. It's not a small town, it's just a good, okay town, and I'm paying 660 for a 3-bedroom mid-terrace house. There was a time I was living in another very small retirement town. Okay. I was paying 720 for a 3-bedroom. So it will depend on where you are, depend on how many dependents you have. If you're going to be renting, let's say where I am right now, if you're going to be renting about 2 bedroom, it shouldn't be more than 550 or so. And if you're going to be renting like 1 bedroom, maybe 400, 350. But then depend, if you're in Edinburgh, even for a 3 bedroom, you can be paying as much as 1,000, 9,950, up to 1,100. So depend on how close you are to the city center, yeah. And depend on what part of Scotland that you are. So the rent rate is very, very different depending on the location.
Wow, okay, there's not much difference, because even here depends with the location. The only difference I've seen there, I live in Belfast, yeah, and the city is the capital city of the Northern Ireland where I am. Yes. And where I live, it's not far from the city center. I can actually walk there, yeah. Yeah, it's very few minutes to get there. Maybe 15-20 minutes I'll be there. I can walk. And you said you live in a 3-bedroom house. you pay 660, but you are in the outskirts, right? Like you are far
Yes.
from the city. I'm not far from the city. I'm in a 3 bedroom house, so the cost of living would be 650. 650, and I do say I have like two car parks, and I have a courtyard. No, the backyard, a small backyard for my child, to play around, and even for the safety of my child as well. She also like goes outside and plays, with her friends and stuff like that. And the for 1 bedroom, you said 300 and something there.
Yes.
Rarely do we have such kind. I've not had, unless if it's really, the range here would be around 400, 450. But the same amount of money would be for a 2 bedroom. So I usually advise someone, if you're coming to live in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, go for a 2 bedroom, because you have a spare room. You can have your own room if you don't have a family, and you can have a guest room. If not that, you can have your own room, and if you have family, maybe you have kids, they can stay in the other room. You see? Then we usually have like the single room. There are those
Yes.
apartments.
Yes.
Yeah, they even go to 150 pounds or 250 pounds a month. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, it can be that cheap when it comes to housing here. So it all depends the kind of a house that you want, and again the location as well. Once you go outside a little bit, it will be a bit cheaper, because you can see if I am paying 650 where I am, there's some area of Belfast where they'll be paying like a 550, or
Yes.
they'll be paying even 500, depending. So I would say when it comes to house rent there, I win.
That's true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Uh-huh.
true. Okay, yes, house rent is a bit on the high side in Scotland. It's not as cheap because I'm far away from the city center. As like this is actually one of the cheap areas.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Coming now from the house rent, let's go maybe to council tax, and maybe before you go there, let me give myself a point. We don't pay council
I
tax.
know.
Council tax. Probably you can tell our viewers what is council tax. Yeah, what is it about, and how much roughly you pay. Does it depend with the locality where you are, or does it depend, or is it in general? How much do you pay for the council
Yes.
tax?
So council tax, I know Northern Ireland they don't pay council tax, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But in Scotland we pay council tax, and council tax is what the government or your council, because like now if you're in Fife Council, East Lothian Council, everybody has council. So your council, they get that money from you, like you don't have a choice. You pay that money and they use that money to take your trash. It also covers your water, it covers your road maintenance, area maintenance, and public places, trimming the grass, and those are just what council tax is for. And currently I'm paying about £120 for a
Okay.
3 bedroom for council tax. So it's usually the same for different areas. Like my whole area, you can be sure that your neighbor is paying the same. The only way it can be different is if you're single, if you're living in the house alone, you don't have much rubbish, as somebody who has 3 children. So you can get discounts. You can get single discounts, you can get student discounts. So there are discounts that you can get. But yes, I pay 120 for my council tax.
Wow. Okay, talking of the council tax, then because you've mentioned about maintenance of the roads and stuff like that, do you really like include the road tax, or now the road tax will be different in that area?
So road tax is for the one you pay for your car when you have a car. So that's different. That's like the highway, the main road. So the council
Yeah.
tax is for, you see those roads that enters into your house, those local roads and rubbish, the rubbish that you generate, your waste and your water. So that's what it covers.
Okay, now I see. Okay, we don't pay the house council tax, but if you're in Northern Ireland and you own a car, you'll be paying the road tax.
We
And-
pay. We also pay road tax. That's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, and you know something, if you don't pay your car, you can't drive the car. Unfortunately, you have to make sure you pay for that. It's actually there. You see, when you're buying a car, or when you are doing like the maintenance of the car and stuff like that, they look for the road tax, the MOT. You know the MOT, that is
Yes.
the government approves that your car is
Yes.
to be on the road. So council tax, no, now it's still council, but it's in the part of the road. road tax. It's only that we don't pay for the house council tax, but for the road, apparently I pay £24 monthly. So I don't know how much you pay for the car tax.
My own tax, like road tax,
Yeah.
is about how much do I pay for road tax? I think I just paid it at once, about 100 and something for a year.
Oh, okay.
For a year, I just paid road tax. So car stuff is different. For I pay for insurance, I pay for road tax, and then you do your MOT. So for my road tax, I think it was about 100 and something. I just paid it at once.
Wow. Do you think it would be cheaper than paying the whole amount for the whole year? Because I know there's that option for paying for the whole year, but then I opt to pay monthly because when I pay monthly, I'm able to track down my expenses. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As I said, I'm a single mom, so I keep track of every expenses that I have in the house and if the money I'm bringing in and the money that is going out there. So I have to keep track. So would you advise someone who is in Scotland to be paying maybe for a whole year? Do you think it's cheaper other than maybe paying monthly?
Yeah, so most things, actually, generally speaking, when you pay in bulk, is just a little bit, maybe about 10-20 pounds cheaper if you look at it. But when you pay instrumentally, sometimes, most of the time, you have it more expensive. It may not be much, maybe £10 or £20 difference in a year, but it just depends on what works for you. At the time, I just wanted to get it off and done. Unlike my car insurance, because it was so much, I couldn't pay at once, so I'm paying monthly.
Okay, it's just the same here. Even car insurance, most people prefer doing monthly. Just like I've said, people like keeping track of the expenses. And then before we move away from that topic, probably you could tell us about the general bills in the house. Like the water bill and electricity bill, and maybe do you use gas for heating, or do you use electricity, or do you use oil? And then maybe we can compare with what we use here, because those are the main things that we have here as well.
Yes, so that's okay. Apart from the rent that you pay, which that's not inclusive, that's different. That's for your landlord for his hard work. I also pay my electricity and my gas. For some reason, it's together. So there's some, like my previous house as well, I had to pay, maybe we charge to pay for the gas, different from the electricity. But this particular house, I have both together, and because I'm with the same company, I'm doing direct debits, which was very, very cheap, and about £72 a month
for both electricity and
gas and heating.
Oh wow! Are we talking during winter time or summertime?
So it's standard. So it's standard. So depending on what electricity provider you've gone for.
Okay.
My previous place, I was recharging, and the money was just going like zoom, zoom, zoom like this. Yeah. But when I was able to get a direct debit, so they will take the same amount, whether in summer or in winter, so that in summer we don't own our heater at all.
Okay.
So they will save that money. The money you're paying will now be saved towards winter, when you need the heating on almost 24 hours. So that's how they are able to meet up with the money.
Wow. I'm happy to know that, because we are learning something, and we say we learn every day. Yes. Yeah, despite life being cheaper here, I think if someone goes for your method, because that's something I'm happy to try, like the direct debit, is it monthly or maybe it's quarterly? Because I know I've been given that option of quarterly, like after 4 months, every 4 months, maybe they deduct some amount of money from my account and stuff like that. So is that the way you do it, or is it?
No, for me, just monthly. It's just monthly. So when the provider when we applied for the provider, they're like, okay, they have direct debit option, and that direct debit is fixed price. They don't change it, except maybe another year has come when they're going to maybe add something. But that's the same amount of money I'm paying for the first 12 months contract. £72 for both heating and gas. And it's just every month, set direct debit, it goes to their account every month. Whether you use your gas or you don't use it, it just goes out.
Okay, I think now the difference is because we have so many energy providers, like the electricity, I use Power NI, and then the gas, I have a different company that is providing that. But you see, monthly, if I could say how much I'll be using, probably the side of the gas would be 30. Right now it's summertime, so might be even maybe between 25 30 there because it's summertime. Electricity, it's summertime, could be 20 to 30, that range, yeah. But during winter, of course, you know, Northern Ireland, it's cold. I think the same as Scotland, yeah. So
Scotland is colder. It's the coldest part of the UK.
So during winter, yeah, I would give myself the same range, around 70 to 80 during winter, because of course, you know, I have a child. Even if you have kids in the house,
Yes.
you have to keep your house, you know, heating on. And if she's in school, and you can switch off, you know, they don't have to run the whole day. You can switch off just to save the energy. Otherwise, I think we can try that one and see. That is something I'll try, like a direct debit, and see if it will save me something.
Money. Okay.
Yeah. But you see, when I'm doing like that, just the way I said, I keep track of my expenses. I'm able to see, like now I'm using 20 pounds, you know. Before I used to use like 30 pounds in my previous house because it's a different power provider. Yeah. So it all depends with who is providing you with the energy. So what
That's
about
true.
oil? Do you have oil? Like
No. It's just gas. I think it's just gas and electricity. I don't know how they provide it. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it comes from. I just know your gas and your electricity is together. Gas is 72 pounds.
Okay. Maybe the advice I would give our viewers here is, I know people who are using oil, but oil is too expensive. If you're using oil, there are people who are using 500 pounds a month, you know, heating during winter time. But if you use the gas, you know, the gas is good because you can pay as you go. If you want like 20, 30, even 5 pounds, here you can top up as low as 5 pounds for the gas. So oil is 200, maybe summertime, per month. I stand to be corrected if anyone sees this video. I'm saying, you know, with the experience that I know other people have gone through. So oil can be very expensive. So if you are coming to the UK because of course, wintertime you can't avoid, please avoid oil heating. Try as much as you can to get gas or electricity heating house, you know.
Yes,
then and then you see there are these people who are like now I did a video for London, and my friend told me that the heating electricity is the major or the main heating that they have. They don't use gas. I even have a friend who is in eastern side of England, in Essex. Also, she's using like electricity. So they count together. But then it depends with how long are you gonna use this heating. That's how your expenses will be counted. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you pay for water in your place?
No, so because of the council tax, I don't need to pay for water. Unlike in England, they pay for water apart from every other bill. But for us, you don't need to pay for water. And I was speaking with someone in England. You see how when I first came, I remember my first house. I was trying to manage the water. I would want to do things in the night. Maybe the water will be managed. I don't want to shower unnecessarily. And then I discovered that, wait, whether or not you use the water, you're going to pay council tax and you're going to be charged. So you don't need to measure how many water you use. You just use as you want because it's in your council tax.
Okay, that's good. You see, now it's different because like in England, they would pay for the water separately, despite paying the you know, the council tax, and most of the council tax amounts like 150 depending. And if you're using 120 and you have a family, you know. So I think the best thing is in Northern Ireland the water is free.
It's free, okay.
The water is free. So I usually say I can run my tap. Of course, I won't waste water, but I can run my tap from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So yeah, there's no bills for water here, no, nothing. Yeah, now maybe you can tell us about grocery. You know, is it affordable to buy food and stuff like that? And then now we can compare between me. I'm a single mom. I have one, and you have 3 kids. So that if anyone is coming with the family, they would know exactly what they are looking up to.
When it comes to grocery, I've never been able to understand how much I spend specifically in a month because I'm one person. Obviously, you can see I like food. And my children as well. I've got two boys, and a
Okay.
girl. And my two boys also eat a lot, I would
Okay.
say. And
Mm-hmm.
I have my husband as well. So what we eat is a lot. We consume a lot. Like, I don't know what that would mean. As long as we don't eat out, we don't do those extra stuff. I would
Mm-hmm.
say maybe grocery in a month, maybe about 250 to 300. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. That's not African food. I mean, just the grocery. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to African food, that's another story entirely. But grocery, all this, normal breakfast and stuff, maybe 250 to 300, depend. Some months maybe more, some months maybe less. Just I
Okay.
can't really say exactly how much we spend because I don't check. I
Mm-hmm.
just go buy, and when it's finished, you have to go and buy again, and it's finished, and then you go and buy again. So that's how it is. I don't actually know the exact amount I spend in a month for grocery, because that's
Oh.
one thing I don't monitor. Because that is only food that I don't buy clothes, I don't buy shoes, but I eat.
Yeah, so here when it comes to grocery, it all depends where you're going to buy your food.
That's
There are
fine.
some supermarkets which are very cheap, like Lidl. People say Lidl, Aldi, Iceland. Those are
Iceland, pound, okay, yeah, okay,
Poundland as well. There's
yes,
Pound Stretcher as well. Like
yes.
those are the cheaper, shops that you can go to, the supermarkets. Again, for emergencies, maybe that's why you may find yourself using more money. We have Spar.
M&S, Sainsbury's.
So if you go like to a spa, the good thing with spa, they usually have like the fuel, the gas pumps and stuff like that. So for emergencies, you see these small things with the emergencies, you can buy from the spa, but they are very, very expensive.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
they are very expensive. And then we have other supermarkets like Tesco. Tesco is expensive compared to Lidl, but it's somewhere in between there. It depends actually what you're buying from Tesco.
That's true.
It all depends actually the shop that you're gonna choose. So you better choose the cheaper one, like Lidl. Myself, I'm used to Lidl. And
Lidl.
then so many people who come from Africa, they ask me, do you have an African shop? Yes, there's an African shop here. I understand it's the same as Scotland, yeah? Scotland. Mm-hmm.
In Scotland, we have African shop, but it's far from us. Most African, for me now, where I'm living, before I will get good African shop, it may not even be run by an African. It's because I made a video one day where I was showing African food, and someone was saying, "You're a bad girl. You should buy things from your sisters from Africa." Because it was an Asian shop, and I
I
just smiled.
didn't actually. I didn't.
I just smiled because here in Scotland there are not many black people.
Yeah.
So before I can get, even the time I was living before, we're the only black family in that whole community.
Mm-hmm.
Before I will get to African shop, it's
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes drive. I need to go to Edinburgh or I need to go to Glasgow.
Wow.
Because you don't get them.
Do you know something? Like now I know two major shops and they're not that big here in Belfast. There's an African shop purely. Actually, it's owned by a Ghanaian. And then there's the Asian shop. But all of them, they sell the same kind of things that we need as Africans.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They sell the same kind of things. So someone is asking me whether there's somewhere to buy, African stuff. Yes, there is. You can buy groceries like okra, sweet potatoes, beans, those kind of African stuff that we buy. But then this other normal kind of food buy in the supermarket is still very good. And then also I was comparing the rice that we buy from the African shop and the supermarket. There's not much difference. Yeah. So see what works for you when it comes to grocery. And then for me, I would say if I am doing a proper shopping, I would do like that £5 for 1 to 2 weeks. That £5, but it's just me and my daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's cheap.
Yeah, I would say on the side of food, it's maybe 150. Just me and her, 150. And of course, I love tea. So those emergency like milk and stuff. So you have to keep topping up. Yeah, you have to keep buying more and fruit. So those are the things that you find. Maybe they're a bit expensive. I find fruits being expensive here. I don't know whether it's the same.
Yes, fruits are more expensive than junk food. You can buy a whole tub of ice cream for less than £1, but just to buy one apple, maybe 6 pieces.
Imagine. Yeah, fruits they're expensive. So those emergency things may increase, your expenses. Yeah. So in terms of cost of living, I don't see like there's so much difference apart from that you are paying council tax there. And the house rent, of course, it's on the higher side on your side.
They are the
Yeah.
main things. Those are the two main things. I'm
Yeah.
sure if you're living in Northern Ireland, you'll be saving about over 300 a month on both council tax and rents. You'll be saving over 300 compared to when you're in Scotland.
Yeah, that's true. So thank you so much, Gloria, for being here. I really appreciate your time. And may God
Welcome.
bless you.
Thank you. May you too.
Yeah. So thank you guys for hopping on here, those who have come. And for those who are watching this video later, if you have any questions, remember to drop them in the comment section below, and I will really appreciate that. Also, I appreciate for those who have not subscribed to subscribe. Gloria is also a YouTuber, so I'll be pinning her channel down, yeah, in my comments and also in my description below. So until next time, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Welcome, Gloria. Thank you so much.
Bye.